prices going through the roof. Tonight, our I-Team finding that the high costs are putting a strain on Chicago tenants.
Consumer investigator Jason Knowles looked through the data and has more on exactly how high the rents are rising. Jason?
We do, Rob. Cheryl, rising rents, signing an apartment lease is costing more and more across the city. Our ABC7 data team found where rents are increasing the most and how much you can expect to pay. There are also ways to save.
I love my home, but I just don't feel that hike is fair.
Ashley Golf and her 2 children have lived in their Galewood neighborhood apartment for nearly 3 years. In that time, her rent has gone up 26%.
I thought it was ridiculous. And then I think about everybody else. How is everybody else affording this?
Golf says 2 of her neighbors moved out recently, telling her the rent increase was a big part of the reason. As part of those increases, in 2022, a $50 service fee was added for water and trash and $20 for security. Golf says she was hoping to buy a home next year, but now she can't.
It makes me have to, have more sacrifices to start saving for that.
She's experiencing the same thing many other Chicagoans have, a recent spike in rent. The ABC7 data team found that the median rent for a 1-bedroom apartment is $1,385, up almost 24% compared to this time last year. And that's 10% higher than the national median. A 2-bedroom apartment, $1,745, up nearly 30% compared to the same time last year. That price is 13% above the national median. We also looked at the area neighborhoods in the city of Chicago with the largest rent increases in the last year. Lincoln Park had the highest rent increase, up 10.6% from an average rent of $2,176 per month to $2,406 per month. The Wrigleyville and Buena Park neighborhoods increased 10.3% from an average rent of $1,708 per month to $1,883 a month.
We've noticed that the number of tenants calling about large rent increases has increased up to, 500 calls a year for us, so that's quite a few. And these are significant rent increases.
John Bartlett of the Metropolitan Tenants Organization says more corporate entities are buying up rentals and driving the market prices up. He says it hurts lower income people the most.
People's wages have not kept pace at that rates. Oftentimes that they have less resources, and so that moving is just much harder than somebody that's, has plenty of money.
The I-Team contacted the management company for Golf's apartment complex. It acknowledged our email but never responded. Bartlett says the city should consider implementing rental policies like rent control as a broader solution.
Tenants should always try to negotiate, especially if they're a good tenant. No matter what, if a landlord's going to have to find a new tenant, that's going to cost them money no matter what. They may be willing to take a little bit lower in order to keep a good tenant in place.
Golf is tightening her budget in order to afford the increased rate, but she knows that others may not have that option.
How is everybody else going to do this? Especially other single mothers, taking care of everything on their own.
Besides negotiating, there are other steps you can take to save. Sometimes landlords will lower the cost of rent if you can sign a longer lease. If you're renting from a corporate landlord, they may have move-in deals where you do not have to pay the first month's rent. Also remember, if your rent does go up, weigh in the cost of that rent increase versus the cost of moving. Unfortunately, you may be saving by staying put.
Wow, so many factors to think about. Wow.
Yeah, it's tough out there right now.
Yeah, revealing and eye-opening. Thank you.
It's time for our weather forecast as we